In this demonstration, we will show how the Deployment Workbench in the Microsoft Deployment Toolkit, or MDT 2010, is used to create a fully automated desktop migration build to move from Windows XP or Windows Vista to Windows 7. Let's start by opening the Deployment Workbench and viewing the Information Center. In the Getting Started pane, we see everything we need to do in order to create a working build for Windows 7 migration. The Windows Automated Installation Kit is required for MDT as stated in Step 4. Step 5 explains how content is added to the deployment share. Steps 6 and 7 describe how to create the task sequence to govern the migration process as well as how the deployment share is updated. In this case, we will use a standard task sequence. MDT contains a streamlined set of documentation needed to perform operating system deployments, and the News pane is updated regularly with relevant new deployment content. The Components pane lets you view related components and navigate to their download pages. Here, we see again that the Windows Automated Installation Kit is required. A deployment share was created and populated with applications, operating systems, drivers, and packages prior to this demonstration. We can see all of the applications and any groupings we have done to bundle applications according to departments. Operating systems have also been added to our deployment share. Windows XP or Windows Server 2003 and newer client and server operating systems can be used. We also have operating systems grouped by department. Task sequences have already been created for both server and client operating system installation, plus image capture and post-operating system application installation. The task sequence manages data migration, application and driver installation, as well as other standard configurations. MDT 2010 adds selection profiles so that you can select a subset of items to be a part of your deployment builds. You can use this feature to manage multiple departments or multiple customers if you are a service provider. We can also create media to manage our deployment. A USB flash drive can be created to house multiple client and server operating systems, and can be used to install 32 or 64-bit operating systems from the same media. Let's add a new application. We'll start by navigating to the application item in the tree, right-clicking and selecting New Application. We'll import an application with source files, list the application attributes, browse to the source directory, and select MSE. Then stipulate a command line for installation. Let's add an operating system. By right-clicking Operating Systems and selecting New Operating System begins the process. In this case, we will add a recently customized operating system image and select that Setup and SysPrep files are not needed in our options. We'll then provide a friendlier destination folder name, view the summary, and click Next. Once completed, we can click Finished. Now, let's create a task sequence by right-clicking on that item and selecting New Task Sequence. We can choose from pre-configured task sequences to deploy clients and servers. We'll leave the standard client task sequence and click Next. Now, we need to select the operating system we just loaded. We will opt not to specify a product key and click Next. Then, we'll leave the default username and browser homepage. Specify a password, click Next, and finish our task sequence. Finally, we will create a media deployment point. First, we'll choose a path and a folder. Then we can choose a selection profile if we want a subset of everything. And finally, click Finish. The final thing we need to do is update the media deployment point, and we are ready to migrate computers to our Windows 7 image.